Okay, hello everybody. This is another elder coming to you with another video. In this video, I said I was going to talk about the rabbit hole. Now, before I talk about the rabbit hole, let me say something. I'm not a professional. So if I stammer and stutter a little bit or back up a little bit, you just have to kind of put up with that because, this is my first time doing this and I'm not a professional. So I know how to talk straight through a thing. But anyway, in this video, I said I was going to talk about the rabbit hole that the human race has gotten itself into. Now, I'm not talking about the black race, the white race, the Asian race, the Spanish race. I'm talking about the human race, the race that we're in. Although some people have told me that the black race is at the bottom of this hole, whatever rabbit hole this is. But we have ourselves in a rabbit hole. And there is no way that I can think of right now that we can get out of this rabbit hole without some kind of help. So whoever you pray to, whoever you worship, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Allah, whether it's Krishna, Buddha, whoever it is, you might want to give some prayers on your knees and ask them to help us get out of it, because I don't think we're going to be able to get out of this rabbit hole by ourselves, because it's way too deep. Now, here's the thing. What got us here? I mean, we're human beings. We got a brain. We're smarter than the ants. We're smarter than monkeys. We're smarter than giraffes. I mean, we send men to the moon and Saturn and all that kind of stuff. So how did we get into this rabbit hole that we can't get out of? How did we do that? Well, I don't know. In my opinion, there's a couple reasons we got here and we can't get out of it. One reason is people in the world are poor. People are poor. All over the world, people are poor. And when you're poor, what happens? Well, you get disgruntled, you get angry. You don't have enough to eat. You can't feed your family. You don't have a job. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. And we blacks here in America, and I'm not trying to talk about blacks especially, but we think we are poor. But when you look at some of these videos of other countries, we're not poor. We're not. We say we are, and we have every right to protest and march and all that kind of stuff. But according to some of the places I've seen, we are not poor. We think we are, but we're really not. So since people are poor, that can cause problems. Another thing that can cause some problems is, let me see my notes here. I think it would be education. People who are not educated, they can become disgruntled, they can become hateful and all that kind of thing. The problem with education is some of us were not allowed to get an education. I mean, we were kept from getting an education. So, to give you a perfect example, back where I grew up, we didn't have a chemistry lab. So whatever chemistry I've learned over the years, I learned it on my own. We didn't have a chemistry lab at my school, my high school. And a couple year or so before I graduated, they came in and put in a chemistry lab. But it was just a sham. Nothing was hooked up. It was just a lab with all this stuff in it, but nothing was hooked up. You couldn't use it. But my understanding is, and I'm not trying to get too racial about this, but my understanding is 4 miles down the road, the white school, they had a fully functioning chemistry lab. So why didn't we have one? Well, people didn't want us to get an education. There's part of the problem that got us in this rabbit hole. Another problem that got us in this rabbit hole is look at the idea of road rage. Road rage really tells you how people are thinking. You cut up somebody off on the highway, and they could put up to you, cut you off, and take a gun and shoot you and kill you over somebody cutting you off. I mean, I'll give you another example. I'm walking in a store one day, and there was a Caucasian lady walking out as I was walking in. We were only two walking in and walking out. And when she saw me, excuse me, her whole demeanor changed. She went from just a lady buying groceries to somebody who was saying, "What's he doing here?" I mean, it was a community that was mostly Caucasian, and some black people lived there. But her whole attitude, now I could be completely wrong. She could have been a nice old lady just doing her shopping. But her whole attitude changed when she saw me. It's as if she was saying, go back to your community. And that's what's wrong with America. We have too many different communities. And as long as we have all these different communities, we're always going to be fighting. You can't get around it. Okay, now, another thing that got us in this rabbit hole, and I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but sometimes I'm forced to talk about these kind of things. And you know what it is. It's religion. Okay, I'm a Baptist and I don't like Methodists, or I'm a Baptist and I don't like people of Islam, or I'm a person of Islam and I don't like Hindu, It goes on and on and on and on because of my belief. As long as you talking to somebody and they're the same belief as you are, there's no problem. But as soon as you encounter somebody who's a different belief than you are, the boom, the trouble starts, the guns come out, the hatred starts. So even though I respect people's religion, like I said in my first video, unless that the religion tells you to kill me, I respect people's religion, really, but it's something that you might want to just keep to yourself and worship whoever you want to worship the way you worship them, because religion has got us into this rabbit hole, and until that changes, we're gonna just dig deeper and deeper and deeper into it. But the real thing I think that causes us to be in this rabbit hole that we're in, that we're not gonna be able to get out of, is greediness. Now I know Umar Johnson said greediness has nothing to do with it. But when you peel away all the layers and you get down to the nitty gritty, people are greedy. Human beings are greedy. And that's what got us in this. Because if you look at the total population of Earth, they say it's 8 billion now. And you have to realize that some of those are children. Let's just say there are 7 billion people, adults on the face of the planet. 7 billion. And out of that 7 billion, let's just say 1 billion are criminals. Murderers, rapists, thieves, you name it. But still, 1 billion out of 7 billion, that's still good odds. We're still doing good. We're doing good in that sense until you turn that thing over and look at the other side. What's on the other side? Well, the reason we're in this rabbit hole is because on the other side, you'll find mistrust, you'll find jealousy, you'll find envy, you'll find entitlement, you'll find racism, but it all boils down to somebody is too greedy. Greediness has got us into this. If people will just be fair, do what you can do to help other people, get yourself a job, take care of your family, everything would be fine. But there are people who say, well, I'm Asian, so you shouldn't have that big house. I should have that big house. Or I'm a Caucasian man. I say, well, I don't want you dating that Caucasian woman. I should have that Caucasian woman. Even down to religion. What is religious greediness? Religious greediness goes like this. I've read the Bible. I've read the Quran. I know all the answers. And you should be the religion that I am. If you're not the religion that I am, then you don't know what you're talking about. Because I've read it all. And I know I'm God's favorite, or I'm Krishna's favorite, or I'm the Buddha's favorite, and all the rest of you are going to hell. That's religious greediness. They're so greedy they want everybody to think the way they think, and in a lot of instances we do think alike. I mean alike, because we all like ice cream, we all like apples, but when it comes to this greediness thing, some people are just not going to have it. They're going to want everything for themselves. They're going to want everything. They don't want you to have anything. And that's where the greediness comes in. So when you look at the big picture, greediness pretty much caused us to be in this rabbit hole that we're in. And there's no way we're going to get out of it without some kind of help or without some kind of change in our thinking. It's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. It's not going to get better. I mean, President Trump now is trying to arrange something between Russia and Ukraine. And at one point, Putin was saying that he was going to have a limited nuclear war. And then we got the guy in North Korea saying he's going to nuke New York, I mean, it's just going to get worse. And as far as we know, there are 2 wars going on in Israel and Russia and Ukraine. But for all we know, there are a dozen more going on somewhere. There's always people fighting over something. Something they're fighting over. And like I said, to me, it boils down to greediness. So that's all I got to say in this particular video. I hope you all can understand where I'm coming from. Leave your comments. I don't know what else to say. We need some help. So I don't know what my next video is going to be about. I'm going to come up with something. So I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you in the next video.